First and foremost, hello, good morning, everybody. Now, we got a lot that we got to talk about on this beautiful Tuesday, I would say, in Chicago. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're going to get right into this video. But I first would like to get into like sad stories, the very, very sad stories that I didn't get a chance to talk about this first time ever talking about this story because everybody from Dallas are literally grieving. A lot of people from Dallas are grieving about this story. Shout out. I want to send my condolences to Eugene Gates. Eugene Gates was a UPS. He was a mail carrier. He was delivering the mail. He worked for the post office. And heat index in Dallas is like 3 times like 100 and some odd degrees. And so over 100 degrees, and he passed away. Now, the post office is saying that they're not going to say right now that it was because of heat, exhaustion because of heat, but he did pass away on last week. And they said the family told the 66-year-old Eugene Gates collapsed in a front yard and a neighbor administered CPR. USPS isn't confirming if his death is heat-related at this time. And they're saying the heat index Tuesday was 117 degrees. When I heard this story, number one, my heart was broken that, that this have happened. I've known for a fact working with the elderly people, since they don't do well with a lot of heat, like too much heat. They don't do so with too much cold, too much heat. And that's too much for anybody. And being outside and working and passing out and the neighbor had to administer CPR, I think once it becomes that hot, they should just suspend the mail and people just go to the post office and pick up the mail and just hire more people to work at the front desk for people to collect their mail. Those are like dangerous temperatures to be out at 115 degrees. You out trying to deliver mail, or you're working at UPS and you're trying to deliver. And those trucks are very hot. Those trucks are very hot, and it's like you are in hell, and you have to do it because you have to work. Now, when I look at the story, I was like, and a lot of people was like, oh my gosh, he was 60-something years old. He couldn't enjoy his life. And he died. And so when I look at stories like that, I want to work in a position when I'm safe and under air, you know what I'm saying, in a safe environment. And I work really hard doing this because I don't want to be out there delivering packages and that hard labor in the heat, because it may be okay certain parts of the year, but when it gets hot, those workers have to be outside delivering your packages, and those post office workers got to be out there delivering your mail. You know what I'm saying? And, it's like they're doing it when the sun is out. Typically, in some parts of the world, a lot of people there work around 4 to 5 a.m. for like early morning before the sun come out because it's so hot. But in America, they typically in those type of jobs, they start like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 when the sun is really hot. And so it's really something. Like, this man did not get to enjoy his family. He literally died doing his job, and I don't want to die like that. I don't want to die. I want to, if I do go, my goal is to live a long life surrounded by family, gospel music, and really enjoy life, that I was able to experience life. And I think that a lot of us, some of our grandparents never get to experience life. I go back to slavery. I go back to when they dug up the bones of the slave and how the muscle was detached from the bone because of the much work that the slaves were doing. It was working from when the sun came out all the way to the sun came down. That's how hard they worked, to the point that the muscle detached from the bone because of the hard work that those slaves were doing. And so I just don't want to go through that. And my ancestors worked very hard for us to be able to get the access to work smart, not hard. And now, due to technology, you don't have to do all of that hard labor anymore. And some people, that's their goal. Everybody is not meant to be a commentator. Everybody's not meant to do it. But it's so many other jobs where you can do in your house and make over six figures, and you don't have to be out there in the hot beaming sun to make a decent amount of money. And so that's the type of society we live in. It's really sad to see this story, and that they have to bury their grandfather, they have to bury their father, and he never get to enjoy. He enjoyed the fruits of his labor. He worked. I've met some senior citizens that it was one particular guy. He was in his 90s, still working. A lot of seniors are still working, still have to work regular jobs, still have to be at the cashier working because of bills, and because of taking care of their children, and because of taking care of their grandchildren, or taking care of their sick partner. It's just really sad that have to happen. It's just some of those type of jobs are, even though it's good job security working at the post office because the benefits is great, and a lot of times people get to retire and make good money from it. But is it worth me putting my life on the line? No. But again, if you have to feed your family, I can easily say, oh, I won't do it. But if I had a family, I would have to eat that and do it and be out there in that beaming sun. But I'm so glad now that before I have children, I know I will have some very soon. I can sense it. Is this definitely going to happen, especially what I'm doing. So I know it's going to happen. I'm not stupid and dumb. I know it's definitely going to happen, and I know it's just going to be. I just know it's going to happen, right? So I want to work smart, and so instead of me doing 40, 50 hours in somebody's establishment, do that on your business. Do it about 40 or 50 hours on your business, instead of doing 40, 50, 60 hours on in a regular establishment. Now, I also want to say this. Now, hold on one second, because I'm going to go outside, because them kids, I'm hearing them. They about to wake up. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to go outside because I hear them. They about to, and they're going to be making too much noise. So I'm going to go outside. Give me one particular second, y'all. Ain't about to get me. Hold on, y'all. All right. Hey, y'all. Hey. Instagram family. Hey, Instagram. Bye, Instagram. Y'all ain't about to get no free show. Hold on one second. Oh, gosh. All right. Hold on. Do this really quickly. I'll do that because it don't make no sense. Yeah. When they see me, they're going to want to play. There we go. Oh, it feels so much good out here. Yeah, that is hot. All right. It feels beautiful out here. All right. Hold on one second, you guys. All right. Hold on. All right. Okay. So it's just really something. But everybody's not meant to be an owner, an entrepreneur. That takes a lot of work, a lot of stress. But delivering mail, that's something. Like, you got to be out there, and it's very difficult. And it's just sad that he died. Unfortunately, I feel like it's the post office are partially to blame that they have their workers out there in that beaming sun. I think that they should just suspend that. Like, when they do in the wintertime, they suspend mail service. Like during storms and like a winter ice storm, when they had the ice storm, nobody delivered mail. I think that same policy should be in place when it's on those extreme hot days, like if it's over 100, they should suspend mail service and allow people to come to the post office and pick up their mail. I believe that policy should be in place because for me, it wouldn't bother me, but I know it will bother some other people because they're serious citizens and they can't, get to the post office. I understand that, but this man, he died on somebody's front line, you know, and literally a customer or a neighbor, a person that he was delivering mail to, they have to administer CPR. So it's just all around just heartening to see, really. And someone just put it out there, and I agree. They said Lisa said that robots should deliver mail. It's a good morning, and so I'm just like, I just like it's just something. But people are still old school. People still got mail. Some places still delivering checks. Some people still don't believe in technology. I don't really have to have mail, but some people get their medicine delivered to them. I know I get medicine delivered to me. Some people get prep. I used to get prep delivered to me, but I stopped taking it because it was just too much for my body, and my doctor was like, the consequences of it, like, is on your liver, puts wear and tear on your kidneys, and I was like, I don't really need it, you know what I'm saying? So I stopped taking it a long time ago, and I didn't even know that it helps. It makes you like gain weight, and so I had to confirm it when my doctor said yes, that helps. That does with the gain weight. So I said, let me just stop taking it. So I've been off prep for almost 2 years now. I just stopped taking it. I just really stopped taking it. It's been about 2 years since I've not been on it because it just wasn't for me. And half of the time I wasn't doing nothing. So I'm like, it just wasn't for me. Okay. But when it comes to like the post office, a lot of people, they still get things delivered. They get their bills delivered. Some people mail out checks. Everybody is not tech savvy. My grandmother, when before she had a stroke, she would mail her bills off. Like she would mail it. She would not pay nothing over the phone. Everything that she had, she would mail her checks. So she would still write checks and etc. They said we're literally living in an excessive heat warning here in the DFW. Yet my friend husband said the USPS sent an email to all employees about being a responsibility to stay hydrated. It's really sad, and these companies don't care. That's why you have to work smart, not hard. This is why I put so much time and energy into what I'm doing right now, because you literally have to work smart, not hard, because these companies don't care nothing about you. You have to care about yourself. So you have to make sure that you're bringing bottles of water, ice cold water, ice cream, just drinking as much water as possible, having a portable fan. And this is right. You have to be your advocate. You have to. I remember one time I was working in a nursing home and they didn't have no air. Like the air thing went out and it was so hot and the state was notified. And I was like, I'd say that and I told the state, I just was honest. They said, "Oh, don't tell them about it." I said, "Listen, it's a heat box." And they fixed the air. Like they sent a complaint and they fixed the air like that. That next day they had the company that they was trying to beat around the bush. So I'm like, no, like this is hot and I'm not working in no heat. Absolutely not. So so the next day they had the air working because I'm like, no, we they need air. Like I'm not about to be out here serving nobody and I'm sweating. Like I already sweat taking care of people. You think I'm about to do it with no air? No, you got to go fix that, And a lot of these companies don't care. They try to pinch pennies and they try to do different things like that. And a lot of our prisons are don't want to have central air, and a lot of those prisoners are suffering. And that's cruel and unusual punishment. So it just doesn't make any sense when it comes to that. But we are definitely going to pray for this brother's family, and we hope that one day we could just pray for him, pray that our system gets better, that we could do a better job, that, that people don't have to be out there going to get mail, delivering mail, and just dying on the line. That's just sad. Do they have laws against unworkable conditions? I don't know if they have laws against unworkable conditions. I don't know. This is why it's so important to have unions to speak up for you on your behalf. This is why it's so important for that. But no, I don't know if they have laws about unworkable conditions. I don't know. I can't speak about that. Yeah, I can't speak about that. I just can't. That's a good point. That's a very good point. But I definitely can't speak about do they have what they says unworkable conditions. I don't know about that. I can't speak about that. But obviously they probably don't because they send an email out telling people it's your responsibility to stay hydrated. And thank God I'm not in there. Even if I was, I'm gonna be in air. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in air. Stock up my refrigerator. I'm gonna literally be in air. And shop and buy plenty water and just stay hydrated. But I don't really go out, period. But Texas, it's I've heard multiple complaints that it was hot, and that's probably why people want to come stay at my place because they probably have nowhere to go. Anyway, but yeah, I heard that it's real high. Like in Chicago, it feels really good in Chicago. It really do. It feels amazing. All right, let's move on from that Javelin says hat. I want to get into this story. This lady that you see on your screen is a 93-year-old woman named Josephine. Her first name is Josephine. Her last name is Wright. And I want to definitely read this article that I pulled up from the whatimreading.net. And they said that a 93-year-old South Carolina woman is fighting to keep her property after a developer filed a lawsuit. And what she believes is an attempt to force her to sell the land that's been in her family since the end of the Civil War. Josephine Wright was approached by the developer Bailey Point Investment Group in May, asking her to sell the property to make way for a 27 anchor 147 unit development on the Hilton Head Island called Bailey's Cove. They said Wright refused. This is a quote from her. She said, I want to leave a legacy for our family. She told me. That's what she told this journalist. The construction had begun last year with no warning. According to Wright's granddaughter, unbeknownst to us, they just started tearing down trees. Our house was shaking like it was an earthquake. They didn't even have the decency to let us know that this was happening. The developer sued after Wright refused them, alleging a shared satellite dish in Wright's back porch erosions on the land where they plan on developing the Bailey Cove. They claim that the items significantly delayed and hindered development. According to court documents, Graves said they paid over $2,000 to move the shed. The back porch is still standing. In a countersuit, Wright alleges that Bailey Point Investment Group began a consistent and constant tactics of intimidation, harassment, trespassing to bully the 93-year-old into making the sale. She claimed that trash has been left on her property, her tires have been slashed, and a snake was placed on her bedroom window. The developers have questioned if Wright owned the property at all. According to the Island Packet, and attempted to go through other family members to force a sale. This has been a very stressful, but in a very redeeming due to the fact that there was such a positive response to this injustice from people all over the world, Wright said. But she's seen far too much in her life to back down. I've pretty much been a fighter all my life, Wright told WSAV TV. I guess they figured I would become so unnerved with the harassment that I would say take it. But they don't know me. I am here to fight for what I have. The fight is not a new one to those living in South Carolina, Low County. They said all of that many residents have lost their property and was capitalized on their land for decades. These developments and residents have formed. They have formed like a group to slow down the overdevelopment. But they reached out to the county. They says nothing that they can do. So this elderly woman have been asking the public to help her. And it's so sad when people they will try to take your property. If you refuse to sell, it's some very ruthless people. And I understand this 93 3-year-old woman. She said, no, this land was passed down from my mother, from her husband. And her husband left the property to her, and she want to leave it to her grandchildren. And then in the article, she said they have family reunions, they have barbecues, they have events there for her family, and she don't want to give away. That's generational wealth. And they're not going to pay her what it's really worth. They want to lowball her. Now, we don't know the offer that they offer her, but whatever they offer her, she refused to sell. And she want to live on her property. But they would do different things to try to force you. They put snakes on there. They slash your tires. I've seen people do some crazy stuff. Those developers will do some crazy stuff to take your land. They will force you in court, try to bankrupt you, do so much harassment to force you out. But it's backfiring because people have donated to her GoFundMe, and all the people around the country and the world is standing by this woman and said, why are y'all harassing her? She don't want to sell her property. Leave her alone. There's a very historical area in South Carolina, rich culture, deep roots. I'm glad she's standing her ground. Yeah, she want to fight for her land. This is what her ancestors had since the Civil War. And so she had over, they had this over literally over 100 and some odd years that they have that property on her family's ownership. It's something with the system. You know, when you look at this, you really are not shocked. You're not surprised. This is why you have to fight so much. And a lot of African Americans, some parts of us, we live in Chicago and we think everything is good, but it's not. A lot of African Americans up north feel like, oh, this is a Southern problem, but there's some issues up north that people properties are being snatched away because of developers and etc., because of gentrification. So when I heard this story, I said I really want to bring this to awareness. Like, it's a lot of dirty stuff still going on for us as Black people who have to survive in this country. And then I was watching that, and so after I read that article, I was resubscribed to BET Plus because I wanted to watch Monique's movie again, The Reading, and then they had Reverend Al Sharpton documentary on there, Loudmouth. And I've been wanting to watch the documentary when it came out. I wanted to go to the movies, but I couldn't, for the life of me. It was so difficult to find a theater that was showing this brother's this civil rights icon documentary. I couldn't get there. Like, it was so far away from my house, and the theater wasn't showing it in my house. And so I said, well, let me wait. And so I just went on, live on. And so when I went on BET Plus and I saw that Reverend Al Sharpton, I was watching his documentary, and then I would start seeing what he was posting on his career. I was very intrigued. And I saw how he fought for the behalf of so many victims in the Black community. He was stabbed because when he was fighting for people in New York, and a lot of people thought New York was just so liberal, and it was very racist in some parts of New York, especially back in the 80s, and how everybody just was trashing Reverend Al Sharpton. And something that Reverend Al Sharpton said I did not know. He said, they always talk about Dr. King, but they don't tell you that they tried to paint him out to be a criminal. They tried to get him for tax evasion or taxes, and saying that he was a criminal, a crook. And I didn't even know that they tried to say that he was misappropriating the funds. And they even accused Reverend Al Sharpton of these things. I didn't know that, because no one taught us how they did that. I've never heard of that how they tried to say he did some stuff. And so when he were talking, I just started, and I heard a lot of bad stuff about Reverend Al Sharpton from other people, and I have not done my own research. So once I was watching the documentary and I was able to watch and actually Google and research his resume, it's highly impressive, because he's definitely doing the work. And when Reverend Al Sharpton said, you know, of course I want the publicity, because when you look at Reverend Al Sharpton, his strategy, he comes from the Dr. King strategy. And a lot of people didn't know he was actually helping the Breadbasket as an organization that that Dr. King started and the Reverend Al Sharp, Reverend Jesse Jackson helped lead was the breadbasket. They helped to fight for grocery stores and bring in more executives and companies, etc. And so he was really advocating for that. But how the media took and just ignored that part and said, "Oh, he's a pimp, he's a civil rights pimp, pimping out and just making money and all of that." And one of the critiques people get, because a lot of African American people believe that when you're an activist, you're supposed to be poor. I'm gonna repeat that. A lot of people believe that when you're an activist, you're supposed to be poor. A lot of people, and I'm not going to speak for the entire community, but there's some critics in the community don't like it that Reverend Al Sharpton lives in a beautiful apartment and he got money. And that's like one of the biggest criticism for Reverend Al Sharpton, that people would say, "Oh, you got money," and all of that. And I love his clapback. He said, "This is what we fought for. People have fought for African Americans to have the access to live in these communities, because it was a time where we wasn't welcome to live in these communities." I think that you should not be poor and broke. You should be successful. What's the problem with that? And so when he was talking about that, I said, this is so true. Dr. King, and I went back when he was saying this, Dr. King literally had to be poor just to make it look good for the movement. Dr. King didn't have to live poor. Dr. King was highly educated, could have been a millionaire, could have went on, done speeches, could have wrote more books. But because he was a civil rights activist and because of the movement, he did not hire a maid. He did not put a lot of money for his children's college fund. He gave it right back to the movement. When he went to Chicago, he moved to the poorest parts of Chicago. A lot of execs don't do that. And he did it because he felt like, if I start getting all of this money and start living rich, it will literally, it would hurt my messaging with the community, because they would feel like I'm profiting off of the backs of the community. So, it was a little division with him and Coretta Scott King. But now we see Reverend Al Sharpton, that how he took what Dr. King and Malcolm X, what they were talking about, and really took that and pushed it forward to show more things that were going on. Especially, he was saying, okay, this is going on up north as well. And really echoing this is going on in New York. This is really echoing this. Everything that Dr. King was talking about or Malcolm X was talking about, this is still going on in the 80s. And he said, you have to have media, because that's how you broadcast your messaging. It's very effective to broadcast your messaging. It helps you. And so a lot of his strategy he was learning from Dr. King. And then I thought that it was activists. My counterparts started, blocking traffic and all that. But that have started back then in the 80s, because it was a case of an African-American, I think they were beat and killed in New York, some parts of New York. And so Reverend Al Sharpton, he started, at really becoming an activist on that. And they shut down the transit system. I think they blocked the traffic on the highway. And it was just definitely something. It was very effective. And he said, this is a moment, this is a victory for a moment, but the system have not changed. And all in Reverend Al Sharpton's life, he's trying to change the system. Sadly, it's a lot of change that had, and what was so beautiful that he said in the documentary, he said, I seen a lot of change. I never would have thought that we would have a black vice president. I would have thought that we would have had a black man as president. I never would have thought that we would have black people in CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, because there was a time there was no blacks leading in those areas. But he also said we've seen some pushback. But he said, since I've witnessed change, I know more change can happen, but we have to continue to fight for that change, to change the system. And when he was on the phone with Senator Chuck Schumer, he was on the phone with Senator Schumer, and he said, you know, and I guess the senator was asking, what do you need? He said, well, we need a legislative change. You know, laws need to be changed. The same way the Civil Rights Act was passed and the Fair Housing Act was passed, we need laws need to be changed so this can stop. Do you know right now there's still no laws on the books to make the family go out and sue the police officer and let them be liable for what they've done? They do have laws to protect police officers. In some parts of this country, when you indict a police officer, that officer can sit in the indictment and look at the witnesses testifying against them. It's so much protection for officers, and that's, you know what I'm saying, and there's so many laws that's on the office, and you really have to fight so much and raise so much hell to bring it. Even though we even like to use George Floyd, and they really focus on George Floyd, even though those officers were found guilty for what they did to George Floyd, the system still have not changed. Systematic have not changed. The system have not changed. And so what Reverend Al Sharpton and what activists are trying to do, they're trying to change the system. Now, I see a lot of young people, and myself, I've said it, and I do want to apologize because we repeat things we hear from other people, and we're not on the ground doing the work. What we're doing, what I've done, and I have to stop it, and I've been stopping it, is that we complain, oh, he ain't doing nothing. He a government agent. He this. He doing that, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm doing, nothing. I'm just complaining, talking about somebody that's doing the work, and what I'm doing, just gossiping. Ain't protesting, ain't running for office, ain't working for a nonprofit. I'm just gossiping. And I have to stop doing that. And I said, but wait. If Reverend Al Sharpton, if he's so bad and bad for the Black community, then you do it. You pick up the baton and you go and you fight on the front lines. And you will see, once you become effective, then you will get pushback from your own community and from the media. I told, who was I speaking to? I was talking to Tyrone Muhammad. I said, when you become an effective leader, you will get a lot of criticism to the point because you're effective. So they will criticize you and try to discourage you from doing it. The government would do it. You have the government after you, and you also have your own community where some of them are jealous that you can get a crowd of people and get people to listen to what you're doing. You're very impactful. You got relationship with the government, relationship with the governor and the mayor. People get a kind of jealous. They got jealous of Dr. King. They felt like Dr. King was getting too much. They got jealous of Malcolm X because they felt like Malcolm X was doing too much. So when I looked at Reverend Al Sharpton, now I understand that, and I'm a big component that I don't believe all police officers are bad. I don't believe that. It's some great, awesome police officers. And then I also got to be careful telling police officers to trick on other officers because the system is so set up that they can lose their entire livelihood. So until we change the entire system to make it comfortable for officers to be able to tell on bad officers and their jobs are protected, then okay. But we can't push for officers to sacrifice their livelihood. They got a family, and you tripped on, you done lost your job and pretty much your life. Everything is gone. So I can't, it's like, I got to be careful how I put that in there, because if I'm an officer and if I see some bad stuff, if I speak up, they're going to harass me and I still got to feed my family. So I just think like it's a lot that goes on with policing. It's not one answer, one fix, quick thing. It's like a system that you're going to have to literally change. And I think that's what Reverend Al Sharpton, that's what his life have come. He's trying to change the system. And some of the system have changed. Some of it have changed. Some of it have not. And Reverend Al Sharpton back in the day, he was very aggressive. The way how he used to talk about white people, go Google what he used to say about white folks. How he used to cuss and the crowd was on him. So And so he had a conversation with Coretta Scott King, that is Dr. King's wife. And Coretta Scott King said, "Are you trying to get with the crowd or the crown?" Because she said something that to him, and it dawned on me, and I was like, "Oh, I got to be careful with it too. I ain't all the way there. I ain't all the way there." But what she told him, she said, "Words have power, and you have to look at the bigger picture. Words have power, so you have to be careful on how you deliver your message." And then you saw him kind of changing his form, and not just being more restrained and not being more nasty as he used to be. And so, and I'm not all the way there. I'm gonna just tell you this. I'm not all the way there. 1,000%. I'm not. I get you. I roast and gag all the time, and I'm not an activist. I couldn't be an activist because number one, I just couldn't sit behind and see all that. I'll be ready to throw them hands. Just me. So I don't even go and provoke myself to even do that. I did it one time, and it was a bad experience. Man, I was ready to go toe to toe with this officer. I'm gonna just be with you. I just can't do it. It ain't for me. I do the media side. I cover the story, but on the front lines, I ain't gonna last long doing that. Cause I know me. I can't be restrained. I'm gonna say something. Cause you say something. It ain't for me. And so you really have to really study and train to do that type of job because you will be provoked. So it's just not for me. But I would tell that where Red Al Sharpton have done, he'd have done good for society. And he's very effective. He's a very effective leader. And they have helped change laws, helped change laws to make it better. Some laws have not changed. Even Reverend Dr. Martin King, of course, he did awesome things for the country. Reverend Jesse Jackson done awesome things for the country. But we have to understand, us as younger people now, these are our elders. And we have to learn what they did and continue to do the work, because it's a lot of work that needs to be accomplished. And if Reverend Al Sharpton ain't doing the work that you want him to do, then you go and do the work. But you will see that in order to be effective, you have to have smart people working with your organization in order to survive. His organization that he has started have literally lasted for over 3 to 4 decades, almost 4 decades. So you have to understand that even though you may not like her, you may not understand what she posts. I'm talking about, you might not like what he posts. You might not understand it. But if you upset about what he's doing, then you started. But the documentary was off the chain. I love the documentary. I love hearing from Reverend Al Sharpton. I love that he read off a list of people that did not get any media coverage that he had worked for. And when he preached the eulogy for George Floyd at George Floyd's funeral, he said, when people come to me, they come to me to bring more awareness to a case. They don't come to me to keep a secret. They come to Reverend Al Sharpton so he can raise hell to bring more awareness to the case. He's not a lawyer, right? So that's what they do. And most of the time, it is the families, the lawyers, that goes to Reverend Al Sharpton because he's effective. They did the same thing to Reverend Jesse Jackson, but because he had Parkinson's, he can't go and do what he used to do. He's not health-wise, he's not there. So they go and they definitely do it. So he's a very effective leader. Now, if you don't like what he's doing, then you can also go and start your own organization, or go and you start your own NAACP. Go do what you got to do, whatever you want to do it. But just to go and help somebody. But criticizing him all day long ain't gonna help move us as a people forward. That's just a fact. Because after you get to criticize him, talking about how he worked for the government, he ain't doing nothing, he weak. Okay, what are you doing to help your community? After you did all that, okay, what are your resume? What are you doing? Oh, wait. And when you say that, they ain't doing nothing. They just sitting on the internet, tweeting, texting, and criticizing. But what are you doing? And he's a very effective. He works in media. He talks to politicians. It is what it is. Could I think that our leaders be a little bit more strong? Yes, I do believe so. Could it be a little bit more? Absolutely. But also the masses, the people have to help those people that's also on the outside. Because what Reverend Sharpton said, we do need people in the inside. Because if we don't have people on the inside, we're gonna be on the outside forever. So it's a system that it all works. You got to have people on the legal front. You got to have people in the Fortune 500 company fighting on the front lines of the benefit to move Black people, to move them forward. You also have to have people in all levels of government to move people forward. We have to be everywhere and have the same mindset how to move the agenda together. You have to have media have to come together and move the agenda forward. Just like it was so beautiful, just like Black YouTubers, we all band together, most of us, and we started speaking about Shanquella Robinson. Like we all came together, and this person was covering the story, that person was covering the story. We actually made her story go nationwide, and then you had more activists start latching on. But it was the YouTubers, media, websites like North Carolina Beat, that independent Black media outlets came together, and more Black media outlets start talking about it and brought more awareness to what was happening to a Black woman. But I'm gonna say this in closing. We're rather now. I'm gonna say this in closing. Somebody say he's close friends with my grandma. Oh wow! I'm gonna say this in closing. I want to apologize to Reverend Sharpton because I did say a lot of bad things about him. I don't think publicly. It's all private. But it was wrong because it was a misguided assessment. Because what I was doing, repeating of what I've heard and not doing my own homework. I did not do my own homework. I didn't. I was just repeating on what I've heard. And nobody I have found on this earth is perfect. But you have to understand his resume speaks for itself. And the families that he have helped speaks for the people that he have counseled, the people that he have prayed for. It literally speaks for itself. Okay. Let me see who is that. And let's be all the way clear on that. So we can talk about it and throw shade, but let's be all the way clear. Okay. Absolutely. So shout out to the National Action Network. Shout out to his organization. And somebody said the man is an informant. Who do you think is benefiting off of his voice? There is an agenda. You see, Monica, but if you ask her what is she doing, nothing. You see what I'm saying? That's what they say. Anybody that's effective and successful in the community, they automatically got to be an informant. You know, that's how it is. They said the same thing about Dr. King. So it ain't gonna be no different. You know, that's exactly what they said. So we're gonna move on. Let me see what she said. Anybody else comment in here? Make sure y'all comment below in the chat. And good morning. Now, I just had to speak about that. Shout out to Reverend Al Sharpton. Okay. Also, we got to talk about this. Now, she got off scot-free. And because a lot of legal experts that was explaining to me, shout out to one of my subscribers, are an attorney. And she was saying, you know, Wiley, you have to look at it like this in the full picture. And so we and her were on the phone for about 2 hours. And she said, when you look at the case, that when she was slapped, that this is a self-defense case. She said the issue in this case is that things that was leaked to the media, it wasn't all the way true. But she said that's the power of the media, because the power of the media, mainstream media, repeat gossip on social media and put it in the story as though it is fact. And it's kind of hard to distinguish what is true or not. And then she also said that maybe the prosecutor saw this case and hurried up and automatically just rushed to go and file charges. She said they all got it wrong and they all just immediately rushed. She said what this case have taught, should teach me, she would say, is that maybe before we make a statement, maybe we have to wait about a week or two before we get all of that. And I disagree with that, because I said, well, I will not wait a week or two. I will not wait a week or two, because this is a fast-paced society. And she said, okay. I said, when you do YouTube, you have to talk about it that day. I cannot wait 2-3 weeks to wait for all the details get out, because we don't do that with no story. I don't wait till all the details come out. I just, whatever I see, whatever I hear that particular day, this is a gossip show. I'm not a journalist, it's a gossip show. But the point that I was having a conversation with this particular attorney, I said, it's all the way just sad. Because then we got another phone call that this woman and her son have to move. The family want her and her son to move out of Chicago, because the family of the deceased man want to retaliate against her and her son, especially her son. So now he's a target, and so now they want to move them out of Chicago. See, this ain't gonna be discussed on the media. This part of the story ain't gonna be discussed. So because of this fact, she said, yeah. So another phone call we got from activists, he said, yeah, Wiley, they pretty much got to move. And because the other family, they want to retaliate. And so now her entire life is pretty much is unrooted, and especially her son. It's for, and then another part, and I want to say that because Jamal Green said this, and beautiful brother, he said this. He said the disheartening part of this, that it was other men in the store that did not do anything. But they didn't do anything. They didn't stand up for the woman. And it's so sad. Now, it made me go back to Texas for me when I was on the train. I was on the train, and I want to know, I was on the station waiting for the train. So I see these two I see the black man and black woman, they arguing bad hard, fighting, arguing. So I intervene into the situation. And some just told me to get up and talk about it. Just get up and say something. Because I saw the white people. I saw how the story could have painted. I saw them get ready to call 911. And this was in Carrollton, Texas. And so I stood up and I addressed the guy. I said, man, you got to stop that. Like, don't address her. Like, move past. Like, y'all separate. So I calmed him down. And we got on the train. Everything was calm all the way to the point I got to. I don't know what they did when I got off, but it could have went disastrous, because I knew the area that I was in. I was a young man, just, I was in my 20s when that happened, and I just stood up. It was the right thing to do. It was literally the right thing to do. And a lot of people say, you should have did that. Ain't your business. We don't get involved and blah, blah. I just got involved because I refused to see the police show up. And they're already showing up that we just going to take you out. And I kept trying to tell, I said, this is not South Dallas. And no offense to South Dallas, but I was trying to say that, I said, this is not South Dallas. I said, if you don't stop, they're going to bring the police And it may not end up well for you. You are black in a white area, and you in Texas, Carrollton, Texas. This is not South Dallas. They're not going to play with you. So I think you need to stop. And he calmed down. And then she calmed down. And he was on the train. Everything was fine. It was another situation where I stood up and I was working at racetrack. And it was these rowdy teenagers. And it was this white woman, the manager. She was ready to call 911. It was rowdy teenagers, some white teenagers, and some black women. She was really concerned about the black ones. So I said, before you call, let me see if I can do something. So I go up to the teenagers, not to the white ones. I went to the two black ones. I said, let me talk to you. I said, you see that lady right there? I said, she gonna call 911. And you sit with your friends, and they're gonna come and get you. And go home. You already breaking curfew. I was gonna start with the drama. Don't do it. Just go home. Really calm. Didn't yell. I told him facts. I said, your mom, your parents raised you better than this, and they don't want to have to go and pick you up, or even worse. Just go home. So he told his friend, they all ushered and left the racetrack peacefully. But if I would have let her handle it, she would have called 911. The police would have came. They would have put, and that was in Frisco. So I have stood up when it comes to certain things that have happened. I've done it, been there. But in this particular case, it's just all the way wrong. It's all the way wrong. Me personally, I didn't change my opinion. I still do believe that the mother should be charged. Honestly, I don't know how the son just have a weapon on him like that. Honestly, that's one of my core beliefs. But in the celebration of people, most people say they're glad that she's off and the charges are dropped. That's fine, but it didn't change my opinion. It was great having these beautiful conversations. It didn't change my opinion at all. A life was lost, and I'm not going to celebrate that someone's life was lost. I'm not going to get into that because someone had to bury their son, their brother, and those two girls have to grow up without a father. The entire system have just this whole entire case, the boggling. And then hearing this particular case, then I have to, they get out scot-free. Then you go to another case where a young man, black, good kid, mind his own business, ain't beating a woman, didn't beat up a woman. In the car, mother works for Corey, the preacher, the pastor, administrative assistant, good kid, works for a non-violent organization, in a lift, and he loses his life. Good kid, not in no gang, nobody was charged, nobody was arrested, didn't go viral on social media. They're not giving this wall-to-wall coverage. And so when you hear that story, then you go right in the same week or a week later, same week. Now we have another case that is not getting the media attention. And it's so many cases. And the Lyft driver had to take him to the hospital. And he lost his life. The young man. I believe he was 19 years old. And I want to get back to this woman again, because somebody just made a comment and what they said was true. What Jamal Green said, I understand that, but you can't do that in Chicago. I do believe the violent culture of Chicago have some people afraid to intervene in situations like that. A friend of mine who's from there was explaining to me, that to me yesterday, and I agree. Some situations you can't not intervene because these people is packing. You just can't. You will literally put your life on the line. And a lot of brothers I told say they're not willing to do that. For a system that don't give a damn about you. So they would just walk away. They will literally walk away. Some parts of the city I don't even go to. I don't even get on the train. I don't go to no other restaurant. I get an Uber Eats. I go get it delivered. You cannot even go to some of these establishments. I'm just sorry. You just can't do it. You cannot do it because anything goes off. You just can't. Many people that I used to talk to used to go to clubs a lot. They don't go to clubs because it's just that dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw this story, I understand why a lot of people they're not gonna get involved. Why? So you can lose your life and then your family have to bury you. I understand that. It's easy to say what you would have done, but how many situations have you seen? Obviously, a lot of folks don't get involved because the crime is very high and they don't cooperate with the cops. When the police officer go, hey man, did you see something? No, see nothing. Get away from me. 12. You the ops. They don't say nothing. Nope. Slam their door. Don't answer. They don't. And that's why people have not, that's why they have not solved, I'm sorry, I'm just clicking at it. That's why they have not solved any crimes. Like, that's why the success rate ain't in the 80 and 90% percentile, because the community don't cooperate. They're just completely silent. They have their reasoning, but they don't cooperate. So if they're not cooperating there, they ain't going to intervene if seeing a black woman get slapped around. It's just not going to see it. You know, it's not, I'm not shocked that no guys intervene. I'm not shocked. Well, that would have made sense. They band together, but it didn't surprise me where it happened. It happened in a poor area, Maxwell Street, where, you know, they're not going to intervene. They're really, really not. The system is broken, completely broken. Our young boys is raised in broken homes. They become problematic black men, it's just all over. This whole entire system is just effed up. Honestly, it is. The system have to change. And so just hearing this all around sad, now this mother and son literally have to highly paranoid and, you know, have to pretty much leave Chicago. That's you know, because of they fear there's going to be some retaliation, and it will be. Okay. They said exactly, we don't live in a society anymore where the OG or the older man have the respect of the younger man who will listen to, oh, wait a minute, they're doing the trash, who will listen to their wisdom. That is so true. I thought they didn't already got the trash. I mean, it's two different people. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm gonna wait today. I thought they already got the trash. Oh, okay, they're getting the trash down. My bad. Hold on, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. Yeah, because Chicago ain't the best city to live in. It's really not. It's really not. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next segment here. All right. Where are we at now? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? I want to make sure that y'all is in the chat. Hey, how you doing? I went on that thing to pass bad child because it be everywhere. It be everywhere. Okay, let's bring Storm Monroe's picture up here. Hey. They said it's also unfortunate that a 14-year-old had to bear the heavy responsibility when older men ran away. That says a lot about the culture and the lack of protection of black women. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always sad, man. It's always sad. Whew. Let's move on. I had to get to the heavy stories first, Shaka. This is a lot. So Storm Monroe was live last night, and he was saying something that I tend to agree with. It was live last night, and I watched that live. Mm-hmm. I watched the live. He was talking about the interview that he's going to have with somebody. I want to make sure I give her credit because over here we acknowledge other YouTubers. We do acknowledge other YouTubers over here. When it's a story, I'm going to acknowledge you. So he will be interviewing Amber Eileen from Jocelyn's Cabaret. And so Amber Eileen is a storm chaser of Story. It has been a storm chaser. So he interviewing her. So he was explaining in the interview, he said, I can't put the interview out because YouTube is age restricting it. And I will put the interview out if push comes to shove. I will put it in different pieces, right? I will put it in different pieces. But then I may put the interview on Patreon or members only, or just break it up in pieces. But then he said from that piece, he said, someone took my interview and posted on Instagram. And they posted it on Instagram and they did not give me my credit. I don't understand why they don't give me my credit. And when he said that, I agree, brother, you need to get your credit. But when Dr. Pedo Larry Reed wanted to acknowledge and credit me for a story of a conversation, you told him no. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go out of there. Do that. Don't do that. Don't say his name. You almost had a heart attack. But now you know how I feel when somebody not giving you the credit, acknowledgement, or whatever. You in your feelings. How do you think I feel when people want to say my name on your platform when you got my name blocked? How do you think I feel when Larry Pedo Reed was on your platform and you try to strong arm him to not say my name? When Kyle from Neighborhood Talk didn't credit you, we was on the front lines making sure he did give you the credit. Armon Wiggins didn't do that. Only thing he cared about you is about your breadbasket and what you posted on your OnlyFans. But when it came a time for credit, he was silent. We stood on the front lines for you, black man. We got blocked from Kyle from standing on your behalf. And I didn't give a damn about getting blocked from Kyle because the movement is when we do content as YouTubers, we should get acknowledged and credit for the work that we do, especially by black media. So I ate that. And my supporters stood up and Kyle had to unblock it in a couple of minutes. He had to unblock it. That was the fast block and unblock in history. Because my supporters said, no, man, you in the wrong. Wiley, what he said was right. You got to give people their credit. So when people were saying that situation, people say, oh, yeah, Storm introduced you. Yes, he did. But the day of the interview, which was highly disrespectful, and I just ate it. I did the interview, and none of my supporters could say my name in the chat. None of them couldn't say it, and I ignored it. I pretended like, no. And my strong support, I have supporters I call them day one support. They've been with me for a long time. They couldn't even comment. And I take their word, because they won't lie to me, because they've been with me for a long time. And I ain't going to say no names. But they was in my text me in real time. Hey, we can't comment your name. I'm trying to send a super chat, and they got an error message because they said they typed in Wiley. We can't say it. Most people were saying it. Most people said, and I just took it. I ain't going to say nothing. And finally, when I spoke up, it was confirmed by this brother you see on the screen had our name blocked. And he had us on his show. We were blocked since he been on Two Man and a Lady. You got to go back to 2018, 2019. That's how long we've been blocked as a name. And we never dragged him at that. That's when we were cool. And we were blocked. So winner, In the winter of 2018, 2019, our name was blocked. And he was on Two Man and a Lady. In the winter of 2018, 2019, our name was blocked. It came out because I finally said something that he's sneaky. So bringing me on your show and not allowing people to comment the name, and then we had to go on our backup page. We couldn't even type Wiley. We had to type W exclamation point L-E-Y to have Wiley name in there. That was weak. The reason why I respect Armon in a sense, because I understand what he's did. He's very loud. He ain't sneaky. He loud and it's something you block, whatever. He told me he blocked me, whatever. But Storm will smile in your face and do so much evil with a smile, with them rosy cheeks, and smile in your face and do that sneaky stuff. He have done it. And we exposed him of doing it. Now, do Armon do some stupid stuff? He block, unblock, and pretend like we don't know each other, but it all comes out. Because he sit there and then the next week, he be saying my name. He could just say it out of the blue. And then Armon, he keeps saying, and that just make me work harder because he keeps saying, I never put his name in the title. I ain't going to stop till you put my name in the title. Then I stop. I'm going to keep working hard. That's when I know I made it, when he started talking about me, okay? When Armon Wiggins started talking about me. That number give me fueled. I go back to the drawing board with my team. I said, we got to do more. We got to turn it up, son. I'm going to raise so much hell that you ain't have no choice but to talk about us. But to Storm Monroe, he said, I want the credit. Credit. But you sat in that seat when my name was about to be mentioned, and you made sure he didn't say my name. No credit. Because you fear. It's a fear that, give me a second, it is a fear. And I want the storm chasers in the chat, because most of them are black women. I want them in the chat. And we don't block, because I'm going to have a conversation with those black women. When two men are talking, then that's when you get black women. They try to insert themselves. But let me school you when I'm talking about another man. But come on, comment. I want to speak to the storm chasers. Don't storm on down in this chat. So he said, no credit. But this was the type of brother. And I knew what I was getting from him. I was like, okay, he's a snake. He feared that if I give him publicity, he will surpass me. That is a fear that he had. Armon Wiggins had that same fear. They fear that he's coming up, and I don't want to be the one to help him get him that boost. But then they sick, twisted mind with him and Storm. They're sick, twisted mind. When I do stuff, oh, Wiley, don't do that. Don't give Megan Cuniff no credit. Don't allow Megan Cuniff to come in our space. Oh, Wiley, don't talk about Jason Lee. He's not entertaining. Don't let him come to our space. This is our space. You'll see these demons. And won't even piss on me if I was on fire. Do you hear me? So we made the decision to block them all. We blocked every single YouTuber that trashed me. We blocked it, and Tasha K was one of them. We blocked them all. Ain't no more coming out of the bushes, because it's about to get real hot. We about to go, better get a lot of views. Ain't no coming out the bushes. You will be, I done already blocked you. We used to just allow it. Oh, they're gonna come on. That's Tasha K. That's Erla. Nah, no more, man. Stun you. If you got something to say, You got to hit that link like everybody else and call in like everybody. And it won't be no day when you just drop out a link. We had to recently block another YouTuber that came in the chat. They were trashing us, saying we obsessed with Armon Wiggins. Jumped out of the bushes. Hey, everybody. We blocked him immediately. Ain't no hey. Don't you speak to me. No. You go back to Armon Wiggins. Oh, he ain't giving you the clout. He just used you. Go on over there to Armon. Let him give you the clout. Nothing over there. And you ain't coming over here. You ain't welcome. The slow kids made a decision. We don't even want you over here with the slow kid. We all came to a conclusion. We ate our chop. We didn't ate our glue. And we said, we don't even want you at the table. Go somewhere else. Go in the yard somewhere. You can't even sit with the slow kids. We all ate our chops. We said, no. We made a special ed decision. You can't even sit with us. Go over there. We didn't push you off the table. So, you can't sit with us either. So, you sit with us. So, when the slow kids rejected you, you just bad. They ain't coming at our table. Sit, get away from us. So, Storm was talking all this good stuff. Oh, they ain't giving no credit. They ain't giving no credit. We stood up for him because we had his back when they stole his exclusive. When they discredited him, said, you ain't on the phone with R. Kelly and all the way. He got in his feelings. We stood up. I said, Storm interviewed R. Kelly. He talked to R. Kelly. He got in his feelings. And then he had to do the exclusive. This is a Storm show. This is a Storm. You come out bad and not doing that exclusive. We couldn't even hear what R. Kelly was saying. Okay? Ain't no Storm, no support. Because we tried to come on. The support wasn't neutral. And we hit Storm Link to come on his show 2018, 2019. We never said nothing. He never brought us on. He just brought us on because he had no choice because we had his back when they was trying to label him as being a predator. And then he said, okay, Wiley, you know what? I'm going to bring you on the show. He wanted me to come to Atlanta to do a sit down. We refused. I said, no, we could do it virtual. I'm not throwing on the red carpet because I knew he had our name banned. Why would I give you the full VIP treatment of me coming there and all that? No, we do it virtual. Because you didn't already have my name blocked. And when I came try to come on your show multiple times, you never let me come on. I'm just backstage just waiting. Everybody else get to talk. I couldn't talk. And this is before I ever said something publicly. Y'all don't know half the stuff that goes on because it benefited him at that time. It was the benefit of him at that time. You Storm chasers, some of y'all are Wiley Show supporters, but you stuck under Storm illusion. So let's go to what this Storm chaser had said. This is a top Storm chaser. She said this. Please do not come for Storm. At first, you pretended to be his friend, and now you want to come for him. The jealousy is strong, and you leave him alone because he's doing what a man's supposed to do. That's what she said. A woman trying to tell me about another man. That's the problem with you, lady. You try to tell us about other men and be just all on the wrong side of history. Okay? And so that's just how that goes. And then and that's why y'all marry DL Mills. Y'all don't listen to another sign. That's why y'all follow for a lot of DL Mills and get pregnant. He leave you because you think you know a man. You think you don't know nothing. And mostly divorce, single, multiple baby daddy. You ain't got nobody because you don't know the man. How you gonna try to tell a man about another man? Yeah, you gonna try to tell me what I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. We're going to try to marry him then and see how that's going to flop in your face. He don't want to marry you. He don't know what he want to do, honestly. And that's my assessment. And he makes it fair game because he brings his sexuality up as content. They don't like this type of teaching. Like he's trying to promote that black woman to be his beard to make him look good. It ain't sincere. You ain't screwing her. She ain't pregnant. You ain't marking your turf. You ain't eating that box. You ain't hitting it from the back. You confused. And you just using her as a prop, and it ain't working. No, women still think you gay and in the closet. He don't even want y'all. And just pumping her up. You was with her. You trying to go, ain't no way in the world I'm going to be with a black woman looking like that. And I'm like, I'm getting off that line because I'm horny. I'm about to tap it. We getting it in. Ain't no way in a real man. We going to be on live, all right. After we get it in, then we come on that. You done cook me some food. I'm tearing that up. Period. Anyway. I don't know how I get on this subject, but I'm on the subject. Anybody else got anything to say? And we talk about him because he's a public figure. He talks about Tasha K, call her Woody Woodpecker. We can talk about him. Why is it that I can't talk about people, but they can take everything on the sun about me, but I got to be silent? I can't say nothing. See, that's the problem with some of you women. Y'all have your favoritism. Yeah, the woman she gonna consent to it. You come to my, of course she gonna consent to it. Ain't nowhere if I know you like, you know you want to get, you know the vibes. Let's not act stupid here. She really do like her, but I don't think the feelings is mutual like that. I think he like her with her around, but like tearing it up, getting it in, no, I ain't gonna do that. That's too much woman film. I'm just saying. And he's making her content, pumping her up. He's doing that. She waiting on him to make the first move, but you can't make no first move when you want a man with a penis. How you gonna make the first move? You want a man with a penis. You ain't gonna make no first move. He don't want you. He ain't gonna make it. You know what he want. But y'all think, oh, just on his OnlyFans, it speaks for itself. He ain't haven't screwed a woman on that yet. And then he said, I want to do it with Tasha K and her husband. Now, what's straight? Okay. I want to do it with Tasha K and her husband. That's what he said. He didn't say, I want to do it with the woman that made me pasta that like, I'm going to do a video with her. That brother said, I want to do it with Tasha and her husband. Anyway. But y'all don't watch it. Y'all so what he say that, Wiley? Oh, y'all don't watch him. Oh. Y'all didn't see that. Because y'all know he's boring to you. That's why you didn't see it. This ain't no replay getting it. This ain't no replay. So they say he looks like. I'm just saying, man. They said Armon was flirting with him. Yeah. Because Armon Wiggins started the gay rumors. He started it. He the one that started it. And one to, if correct me if I'm wrong, you could tell me what he said. Give me a second. Yeah, give me a second. Because y'all didn't catch what he said. Y'all was asleep. Okay. He started, he echoed it. He made them gay rumors more mainstream. Armon Wiggins did that. And you apologize. That's what made me know that Storm was very weak. Very weak. And Armon echoed it and made it larger. And to the average person, they say Armon started. When I talk to people, they say Armon started those allegations. And you ain't no way in the world you a straight man. Somebody put these allegations about me, and you think I'm gonna embrace you in a hug? Man, please, you're gonna get a good old. But that's his business. Ain't no way in the world. You put that out and you go to his house eating shrimp. I dropped the link from Winner because she had a whole lot of stuff to say. Let me over the phone. See, when you do the thing, they ain't gonna they you know, because she said I had it all wrong. So give me a second. Let me see if I can open up the phone lines for Winner. That's what she said. She said you got the information wrong, Wiley. She told me that. She said I had it wrong. Give me a second. Let me just open it up. All right, we got the phone lines open up because she said you got the information wrong. That's what she said. Let's put the number on the screen here. Oh, and you at work, of course. That's what they all say. Yeah, that's what they all say. They come in and try. And then when you call them in, they always say the three, I'm at work. We had a control. And then when you tell them to come on out there because we got it wrong, it's saying, I'm at work. Okay. That's what they say. I do it. I do it. I do it, child. Yeah. She ain't going to hit the link. She ain't about it. They always watching. So, but that's what I have to say about Storm. So when I heard it, I wanted to go live last night, but I had to sleep. And I had to do some of my studying about the women body and different things I had to study. And I didn't know you could say a lot of those words on YouTube because it's a YouTuber, it's a sex therapist on YouTube. Baby, she say the P word. She's saying it all. So I was watching her last night. I'm really learning about the woman body and about ejaculation, about masturbation. I'm just I don't want to see that. So that's what I was watching last night. So I was in class, so learning on YouTube. So but I saw his video, so I had to pause what I was watching there, and I went on and saw his video, and I saw a part of it. Yeah. And I saw a part of it, and that was what made me do a response to do content about it. They said she ain't going to hit the link. She ain't about it. Okay. But was Storm right that people need to give him credit? Yes. Was he right that the neighborhood talk should have gave him credit? Yes. And we call Caillou out on that. So I believe so. Yes, you have to give people their credit. Absolutely. Like, I agree with that. But I think that Storm and Armon and these people, they want acknowledgement and credit, but they don't give the same acknowledgement to their own counterparts, to their own people. They don't do that. But when things happen to them, they get in their feelings about it. But they do the same thing to YouTuber. They do the same thing. They do the same thing. I'd be really with you and echo your messaging if you literally is that change that you want to see happen on Instagram. Understand what I'm saying? So that's just how that goes. So I gave the same energy on there because a big YouTuber reached out to me. I see that I'm black on your platform. Oh yeah, you are black. Why do you want to come on there on my platform? I can't come on your show and comment in your chat. I see you blocked me on Twitter. You got me blocked. So why would I have to unblock? I'm giving you that same energy. We went on a blocking spree. We blocked all of these YouTubers that came. Blocked them from, you blocked from Station Head. I mean, it's from StreamYard. We blocked them from StreamYard too. Ain't no hit, no link. You are completely, we ceased the relationship. And they tried to bait us in the beef. Oh, they tried to bait us in the beef. It didn't work. It didn't work. They tried to give some of our former moderators that we fired a membership. It didn't work. It didn't get off the ground. Because we still got the talent. Because moderators come and go. As long as I'm talented, I can get a whole new group in a better one. And we done that. And you will be forgotten about because you're not the star. You can be replaced. So when it happened, they were shocked. They blocked everywhere because they would try to come to my station head and come on. And I saw that. I said, oh, let me block you. What are you on my station here for? Nope. You don't need to be listening to my content. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You ain't listen to my content. Nope. Go somewhere else. The slow kids say, we don't know you. All right? We don't want you at all. Somebody said, although you and Millie have a love-hate relationship, she still give you credit. She's a woman and the man division is a play. Yeah, I love that. Like, thank you, Lady Day. That's true. Like Milagro, she does. Yes, Milagro, she does that. I don't hate her. It's like a loop called hot and cold. I would say hot and cold. Oh, but she will always give us credit. That's I respect her. Do I always agree with some of the stuff she say? No. But I respect her on that. We say each other name. Armon don't do that with her. And let's bring his picture up. I didn't want to do this, but since we're talking about it, let's talk about it. Let's bring up Armon. Do we have Armon and Nick at night? No, Nick, that's a pygmy. Pygmy, Nick. A pygmy. Let's see if we can bring up Armon and Nick. Armon, not Nick. Why I'm talking about Nick? She's so beautiful. Let's take the number down for a second. So they have issues. And see, and I'm gonna keep on this because it's working with the Barbs. With Barty Gang, and they was like, "Oh, we on your side." So with Armon and this whole thing with Milagro Gramz, he didn't say Milagro Gramz' name. He tried to act real stupid. He did that on purpose. And then he's going to call her privately on the phone late at night. You know, when you at with your wife, you ain't going to say your side chick name. You going to hit up your side chick. Okay, baby, you know I love you. You know I F with you, right? Behind closed doors. You get a community wall post. But on YouTube with the hundreds of thousands of people, your name didn't get mentioned. And she know this. And they trying to go out their way to prove Wiley wrong. There is division in the relationship. And we're going to laser in more on the Nicki and Cardi thing. See, the problem is with Milagro and Armon, the reason why they will never be friends is because they both picking up the dirty draws of Cardi and Nicki Minaj. They both picking up the dirty draws. At least Milagro picking up Nicki Minaj's dirty panties and spraying it around on the internet because Nicki have brought Milagro on. Nicki have called into Milagro's show. She have done a show with Riley before they fell out. I gotta get my sources on that. We gotta blow that up and talk about that, but not at this moment. But Armon, he talks about Cardi and have not gotten an interview. And he flip-flopped on Cardi. At least with Milagro, she did trash Cardi, then she stopped and she became a full-time bard. Armon Wiggins, he tried his best to just go against Nicki. He thought Nicki's career was over. Nicki didn't give him no press, blocked him. He focused Cardi. He tried to do it. Then he started lifting up Nicki. Then he started saying stuff. I'm not a Barty Gang page. I'm not a bar. I'm a blog. These people are not my friend. And then he's speaking different. Oh, she is my friend. Then he said with Milagro, she ain't my friend. Now she is my. That he flip-flopping on the position. That's why he don't have this interview with Cardi B, and it eats him up alive. Milagro had a relationship with Nicki, had her on the show. And he didn't name Milagro because he don't want to lose the relationship with Cardi B. But you didn't already lost it because then you got this particular person and y'all send it to Ken like Barbie. I know y'all going to be messy and send it to him. That's how he knew to come on the Wiley Show. And comment that comment. Because, let me see. Do I have his picture? I'm going to drop his picture down here. Okay. You see this? And this is when they, this is Ken like Barbie, right? Y'all see Ken like Barbie and Cardi B. So he's trying to have this type of relationship with Cardi, and it eats him up alive because he don't have this with Cardi. All right. Cardi deals with him like she deals with it's very secretive in the nighttime, trying to gossip. You know, I'm gonna just appease him, give him a little scrap. But when it's time for an interview, no. When he was on her Twitter space and she said, I'm only speaking to Armon, Cardi B called him and told him to take it down. Stop playing that. And he took it down and stopped playing it. Ken like Barbie got a picture with him. And Ken like Barbie came to the Wiley Show and he said, he made it crystal clear. He said, we didn't just meet, love, Love. That's my best friend. We met like 7 years ago. That's where the loyalty comes in. Thank you for the love, though. And ever since that moment, you get this. That's the moment that you get. This picture, you guys, was the nail in the coffin for Armon Wiggins of that interview went away. That picture, there is no interview with Cardi. After this, Cardi B went to Jason Lee's show. There is no. That was it. Because he rushed for it. That picture of them grazing in the camera. Cardi B said, think Cardi didn't see that? A lady that, and he took a picture with her ops. This woman, dog Cardi, talk about her baby, her child. She had to apologize, talk about that, but you said it. She every chance she get, she trashes Ken like Barbie. Put his Put his picture back up, Ken Like Barber, so they can see, visualize. Trash that man with the one with the black hat. Every time she trashes him. And then, let me scroll because I want to make sure that was the end of that. Do y'all hear that? So now let's get into Nicki Minaj. And of course, we'll put the timestamp up for y'all so y'all can get the timestamps. I will put up the timestamps, okay? I will put up the timestamps, okay? All right, do I have Nicki Minaj picture here? Give me a second. Actually, I want to put Nicki and Cardi picture up here. Nicki Minaj came out and said she's suing bloggers. And she also said something. She said, wait till you hear the recording of them calling the cops on to reporting me to the cops. She got the 911 tape. Milagro and the Barbs are now blaming that it was Cardi B fan, and that particular fan that did it was Ken Like Barber. That's what Ken. They thought it was him. They're saying, word on the street is, they're saying that he did that. He did it. And Milagro is echoing that rumor. He did that. It was Ken Barbie. It was him. And now Nicki about to go on a suing spree. It ain't gonna go nowhere. You wasting your money. That don't work. It ain't gonna stop these people from talking and make them talk more. If that would have worked, it would have worked for Cardi B and Tasha K. It didn't work. It didn't work. Cardi B, and nobody talked about it. We'll talk about this in another video, but I will give you a preview. Cardi B lawyers is telling the bankruptcy court to keep them aware of the updates. They got to go through a whole nother battle. It don't work. It is a lengthy process. It will take decades, and you may not never see that dime of that money. Now, I want to be crystal clear on here. Whoever called the cops, I want to be crystal clear. Wiley didn't call no cops. Make that clear. Whoever did that should be in prison for 10 years. In prison for 10 years. Whoever did that. And Nicki Minaj, if you're listening, if you can send me that 911 tape so I can post it on wileythetroll.com, I would greatly appreciate it, huh? I would greatly appreciate it. If you can send me that 911 tape and send it to me right now to wileyshow@gmail.com, send it to my email, DM, you know, you rich, you know how to find my people. So I can post it at www.wileythetroll.com. I would love to post that 911 tape so I can put it in. This is the Wiley Show exclusive. This is the Wiley Show exclusive. I want that tape released on my website. Help Black Media. So when we get into the bankruptcy, we're going to get into it because I got some updated tea on that. We're going to get into that this week. Probably today. We're going to do it today. And we're going to talk about it. About the strategy that does it. Now, where I think that Cardi B, I don't care if she sue me, I think somebody that is close to Nicki, somebody in the industry that's connected, somebody that's pissed at Nicki, sent that number to Cardi B people. It's difficult. It's not hard. Well, I take that back. It's not hard to report her because her husband is on the offenders list. It's not hard. You can forgetting that her address is always public because of her husband. So everything that she does will always be out publicly. So it's not hard. It's not hard. But the allegations, for what I've heard, that they said that her husband was doing something to her son. It was a lot. It was extreme allegations. It was very extreme. This is what I heard. They said her husband was doing something to the son, and she was watching it. She didn't care. They was abusing the son, and they said so. It was a lot of different allegations that they put in a tape, and they sent multiple officers to her house. So whoever called the cops was so convincing that they showed up to her property. Whoever called was so convincing that them cops, we got to investigate. And you really don't have to be that convincing. They have to take every allegation serious. They can't say, oh, this is fake. They can't do that. They can't. Every phone call the police have to answer. They have to dispatch the cops. And the more extreme you take, the more they really have to show up. It's dangerous because people have lost their life with a fake 911 call, have been detained off a lie. So you have to be very careful. And that's why I say you should serve a decade in prison. Because what if somebody called the cops on you and you lose your life, or your granny lose their life, your aunt lose their life off of a person that left a false report on you? That's dangerous. So that's why I say you should serve some prison time for that. I don't care what you say about Nicki Minaj. That to me is dangerous to do, because you could have put her and her son and her husband at risk all off of lie. That to me is dangerous. You can say what you want to say, but bringing cops to her home, and they've done that to a couple of celebrities, but Nicki is a big celebrity right now, and they put it out there, and they're saying that it was a Cardi B fan that did it, and that's what Nicki Minaj is putting out there to the streets, and I'm here for it. I just want that on my website. I want that 911 call. Good morning, everybody. You could have traumatized the baby. Like, that is sad. Let me put the what's the name in here so y'all can see. I know y'all get tired of me showing the pictures, but I have to show the pictures. I have to. Because they keep saying he did it. I don't think he did it. But would it surprise me if he did it? Would it just shock me? No. But I don't think he did it. I don't think Cardi B, and if he did, that was stupid. Because if you really love Cardi B, don't get your hands dirty like that. So it's really something. So I'm definitely going to keep y'all updated on this case. But it's getting hot. Well, who do y'all think did it? Do y'all really think Ken Like Barbie did it? Because that's what they saying in the streets. Call in. The number is 972-674-9462. Do you believe Ken Like Barbie, Cardi B, best friend did that? Call in. Oh, I want to hear from you. 972-674-9462. Do you believe that it was Cardi B best friend that called the cops on Nicki Minaj? I want to hear y'all thoughts. Press 1, because y'all probably at work. Press 1 if you believe that Cardi B best friend that you see on the screen here did it. Press 2, no. Press 2, no. I don't believe that. I don't believe he did that. Press 1 if you believe he did it. Press 2, no. Press 1, you believe he did it. Press 2, no. I want to see what y'all saying. Press 1, you believe he did it. Press 2, no. Someone said in the chat here One of her minions for sure. I want to put this comment on the screen. Give me a second. One of her minions for sure, maybe Ken instructed someone to do it. Don't think he made the call himself. That would be stupid. Someone said, they said if he did that was one of the stupidest decisions he could have made. They can trace those calls. I don't believe he did it. No, that would be stupid. I don't believe he did that. Whoever did it, it was wrong. That was wrong. But that is what Milagro Gramz is saying. Milagro Gramz is saying he did it. She's alluding to it. Some people said they did it. I'm just telling you what the word of the street is. They said Armon called. I'm getting the tea that Jason called. It's just so many people that I'm hearing. And I want to say allegedly, but I'm hearing that they said Armon Wiggins called. Jason, okay, that's all right. They said Jason Lee called, and they said Armon Wiggins called. That's what I'm hearing. They said Armon called. It's just so sad, man. Whoever called. Okay, hey, good morning, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley, this is Lala.
Hi.
I just was wondering, like, at what point do people be like, that's just too much? That's so below the belt. You know, like, we can have a beef or whatever, but when you start making these false accusations and getting the family involved, that's like on a new level of low. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that guy that you're saying called or whatever, but of course there has to be somebody that doesn't like her. But I don't think he would do something. Not to say that he may not have planted a seed and got someone else to do it. You know what I mean? Like, but I just feel like, at what point do you like, we grown? Why are we doing this? This is what's the end game?
I think that is so dangerous because that could have ended, somebody's life could have ended from that. People will go that low because there's so many obsessed fans. Like, I'm just not that. I just do the show and I leave it on the floor. I put it on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm it. I
mean,
take it from the outside like some of these fans do. Wow. And they do
right.
And Cardi ain't gonna bail you out of jail. Like,
no.
Just like, remember Trump? Remember they went and they went to the Capitol.
The insurrection. Yeah, on January the 6th.
Yeah. January 6th. All of those people, and those weren't poor people. Those were middle class. Some people showed up in private jets and they had money. Did he call them out? No.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I still am triggered by that whole thing. A lot of times when I'm at work and I feel like some people are just, oh my gosh, don't even start me on that, because that's just a whole nother thing. But I just can't believe that people grown people would be trolling that hard and call the police on a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like that's just a I mean, it must be somebody with a lot of time on their hands too to make up a story and like you said, make it sound so convincing that I am going to call the police and I'm going to report because I already know that her husband is on the SA, list. So
Yes.
let me just let me put some fan the fire. They're wrong for that. And I don't think any good is ever going to come to them for doing something like that because karma is real. And it can be traced because, I mean, I guess you could do it anonymously. You could report something anonymously. But when police tell you that stuff, forensics is everywhere. So even though you call a little 1-800 number or whatever, they still can trace that back. And for filing a false report, you can get in trouble for that. That's a whole nother thing too. But everything you do is really traceable. As we saw with Tim in that case where he hired, and even though they had the throwaway phones, everything is traceable. And at the end of the day, when you don't do crap by yourself, somebody will sell you out. The first one to squeal is the first one to get the deal. You know what I mean? So, um, I think it was an inside job, somebody who does not like her, and I also think that at the end of the day, somebody's probably gonna get caught. Because I don't think she's gonna let it die. I mean not Cardi. Nicki has enough money to try to find out who did this, and I don't think she's gonna let it just go because it's not true. I think she's gonna actually try to find out who did it, and it's gonna start a whole beef. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna start a whole beef. I don't feel like Nicki would stoop as low as to do the same thing to Cardi though. I don't feel like she's gonna, but I do feel like some type of ramifications are gonna be done. Like she's not gonna let that lie. Do you think she's just gonna
No,
let
I
that
think
go?
I think that she's sitting on this because this is good publicity for an album, beef sale, and I think this is going to come up. You're going to hear more of this.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah.
But it's sad that you would have to put your baby and your husband out there for album sales. Like really? I've never.
That's going to
To
be from
me,
album sales. Yeah, she's going to use that. And if she don't drop it now, when she dropped that album in October, you're gonna hear that 911 tape go on, and it probably, let's just be real, it's gonna probably go on TMZ.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because just like somebody sent it to TMZ for the petition, they said a Cardi B fan, so that's gonna be like the same playbook. They're gonna say exclusively, we got this 911 tape, and it's gonna be posted on TMZ, and they're gonna pretty much label it as a Cardi B fan, and Cardi B gonna take the hits for because they're gonna pretend like they're gonna it's gonna be the narrative that she told the fan to do it. That's gonna be the narrative.
that's gonna be the and the sad thing is if she did not have anything to do with it, who wants that on them? But because she is so outspoken, her credibility is very low. So even at this point, if she say I had nothing to do with it, people are not gonna believe that because she's always on social media and her fans are just doing the most. So I just think it's a bad situation for both of them. So they just need to lay low and make some good music, and people will buy it. But that's real low. I had to call in because I was just like, man, at what point is too much too much?
Yeah, sis, you definitely right about that.
All right, Wiley Boo. Have a good day, okay?
All right, you too.
All right, bye.
That's a good point. She said, wow, what at one point is it too much? That's a good point. At what point is too much? That's a good thing. I'm telling you. All right, y'all. Thank you all so very much. This was a good live today. It was really good. I'm just seeing all this stuff today. This was really, really good today. They said, really, ma'am, Nicki has done in the past. Nicki fan base is very toxic and delusional. How she put her baby and husband out there? Didn't someone call cops? Like, yeah, this is why you. This is why you do your dirty work. You're lonely, no co-defendant. A lot of times, I don't live that idle life. Yeah, I love this celeb, but I ain't in love you like that. But thank y'all so very much. Little black boy, you beautiful. Little black girl, you enough. When time to get hard, always remember to put God first. Yeah, you come on. We going live tonight. We gonna do that. We definitely going live tonight. So they said, good morning, Wiley. We're hey, you slept in. I'm so sorry. So we did this live for y'all. Gotta go. Love y'all. We will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a blessed one. I'm just ready for it. Like, let me see. Let me go to her before I get up out of here. Let me go to her Twitter. That's what I was doing. Let me go to her Twitter. She's trending right now. Let me go to her Twitter right now. Let me go to her Twitter. Let me go to her Twitter. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Because she was playing music. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I want y'all to hear.
Damn, don't do that because people always do that to Sages. So it's a Sag rule. Yeah, so we ain't can't do that. You can't don't put negativity on us.
You're right.
You know that.
You're right. We can't even tell a joke.
Yeah,
it's turned into
bad. Yeah, so don't do that because I promise you. First of all, number one, this is not Queen Radio. And number two, I'm really talking to you just how I always talk to you. Like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's good?
I was talking about you. I'm talking about the people in the comments. So they
no, fuck them. Don't read the comments, babe.
Not you.
Oh, and you were trying to compare your titties to my titties, talking about you was left with the big titties.
My titties so big. I got on a leotard right now.
Boo. You didn't have if I tell you what size my titties was.
What size they is?
I can promise you, once nature did what they had to do for Papa Bear, it's no way your boobs right now are still able to look, like that and be all sexy and cute and stuff like that in your dresses. Trust me, you did not have the size that I had.
Well, they big, and the thing I don't like about my titties is sometimes.
Okay. So y'all heard that. That's a whole the Clarishia thing. She ain't want to get no beef. Okay. But I'm trying to see. That's the thing with JT. Let me go to Nicki Minaj and see her. Let me see. What did she post? Is I'm blocked? Oh no, I ain't blocked. She got an album that's coming out October 20th. I'm just going on her Twitter account. She got a song out with Young Thug. Okay. Okay. All right. This is good. Okay. Little black boy, you're beautiful. Little black girl, you're enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. Thank y'all so very much for coming on here. I'm going to go. We're going to be back tonight, and we will see y'all tonight. Y'all have a blessed one.